specific, because what we really want to do is educate the business and the business owner and the leadership teams on how to run a successful business, regardless of the what you actually do. Widgets, e-commerce, doesn't matter, right? At the end of the day, it's all business. We really have a passion for small business. We understand the economic impact that small businesses have in this country, and not just from a money standpoint, but from a community standpoint, in employing people and participating. All right, so today's agenda. This is going to be 3 parts today. The first part is going to be demystifying the marketing budget. So something I hear a lot is that it's really hard to make a marketing budget. I don't even know where to get started, things like that. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then part 2, we'll jump into planning and building your marketing budget, things you should consider there. And then part 3, we'll talk about why you should invest in marketing and why build a budget. So why are we doing this? So again, some things to keep in mind. This is interactive. If you have a question, just ask. Dahlia will interrupt me. Nothing's off limits. If you're shy, email Dahlia. Her email's here, dahlia@strategyleaders.com, with your questions, and I'll do my best to answer all your questions live. All right, so let's jump into part 1. So today, let's start by simplifying one of the most crucial aspects of business strategy, the marketing budget. Think of this as your marketing wallet. So how much you're planning to spend to get your brand there and to draw customers in. So what exactly is a marketing budget? It's a financial plan you set aside specifically for marketing activities. Might be digital ads, social media campaigns, or we have some clients that have some really nice billboards, radio, print ads, whatever. It's all about planning your investments smartly over a set period. Typically, we see a year, but it could be quarterly or even monthly, depending on your business and depending on kind of the ups and downs of your seasonality. What we see a lot kind of in like the e-commerce space is you have holidays that dictate sales or other marketing activities you might do. So things to think about there. But why do we need to define the budget? It's more than just a number. This budget is your roadmap essentially for aligning marketing tactics with your business objectives. It's about making every dollar count, ensuring that you're not just throwing money into the wind, but investing it in ways that will bring real measurable growth to your company. I think probably what I hear a lot as well is that I don't know what I'm spending in marketing. I don't know that I'm getting a return for my marketing. I really just don't know. And creating a budget, and we'll talk about analytics in a little bit, but tracking the results can really give us as owners and us as marketing people a sense of, is it working? And then what changes can we make to adapt? So by setting a clear budget, we're creating a framework for efficiency. We can, for the most part, avoid overspending in some areas while neglecting other areas that actually might be key to business growth. So this ensures that our marketing efforts support our wider business goals, whether that's increasing brand awareness or boosting sales or entering new markets. Whatever your goals are in sales and growth and for your business need to tie directly into marketing. That's a critical conversation that I have a lot with my clients, especially when we're getting started as outsourced CMO, is to say, okay, so what are some of your goals when it comes to where the company is going? Not just, I want to be more on social media or whatever that is, but really get down into the nitty-gritty. So let's dive into some of the key components of a marketing budget. These components are kind of the nuts and bolts that, when they're assembled correctly, can supercharge your marketing machine. What I see a lot is that there's a lot of nuts and bolts, but not so much the assembly, right? I have components. I know I go to a trade show. I know I'm going to do pay-per-click, but there really is not, there's really seems to be a lack of kind of putting it all together. So let's talk about some of these 6 components here. So first up, we have market research. This sometimes gets dismissed as a line item, but I promise you it's not just a line item. It's an investment in intelligence, business intelligence. So by understanding who your customers are and what your competitors are doing, you set yourself up to be able to make informed decisions that will hit the mark. So next, then we would focus on brand development. This is where you're going to craft your business's face and voice. From your logo to your website, these elements tell your story to the world, and you really want to invest in getting that story right. And that also comes down to what your company name is. Is it easy to spell? Do I have the correct domain? Things like that, right? There's a lot of things that go into your brand development, even for legacy businesses that have existed for 10, 15, 20 years. It's never too late to look at your brand and say, does my brand reflect the face of my current customer and where we're going in the future? So moving on to promotional activities, this is where you get loud and proud about your product or service. We're talking ads, blogs, social media, tweets, whatever, emails, and more. It's about reaching out and touching hearts and minds and opening wallets ultimately. But who's going to do all this work? I hear that a lot, Robyn. There's a lot to do in marketing. I don't have anybody on my team that's trained, or I have an admin and she does social media, but I don't think it's working. Why is she spending her time doing that? That's where staffing and skill development comes in. Whether it's an in-house team or outsource experts, these are the people who bring your strategies to life. And don't forget that a team that learns together grows together. I think it's also really important when you're thinking about marketing staffing. And if you guys are interested in a future webinar about kind of what makes up a solid marketing team and how you get that, would love to do that content. But it's really important to think that, a lot of marketing people are kind of like subject matter experts. So you have people who are really good at social media, you have people who are really good at SEO, at website design, content writing. And what we see most is that people tend to hire social media people who are very valuable, but they don't necessarily have the skills or education or experience background to do the strategy, to do the rest of it. So it's really thinking about, what does my business need and how do I best and most effectively get that team assembled. And then in today's digital age, technology tools like CRMs and marketing automation, they're not just helpful, they're essential. They'll help you streamline, analyze, and personalize at scale. So it's not just relying on one person to post or to do the physical tasks of marketing, the implementation side. We can really, use the tools and the tech that exists. It's growing, it's getting better every day, to help build a super strong marketing department. So think of these tools as your marketing team's superpowers. And then lastly, we have to have a contingency fund in the marketing budget. Marketing, unfortunately, isn't a perfect science, believe me, I wish it was. Opportunities and challenges can arise seemingly out of nowhere. So that could be something like an opportunity to jump into something that you weren't expecting, or to tackle an unforeseen problem like, the website suddenly crashed and my website vendor has moved to Tahiti and I don't know how to, make a new website. It's happened. So marketing is wild. Let's talk quickly about some common marketing mistakes in creating a marketing budget. Even the best of us can stumble. I'll tell you that, it still takes me time and my team time to make a marketing budget and really understand what's going on in a business and what they're spending on marketing, and then what they're going to need to spend on marketing. And that largely comes because when you don't, so the first one is underestimating costs. It's really easy to dream big, but forget that your wallet doesn't stretch infinitely. And it's also really easy to forget that you're doing things in marketing, or that might be a marketing expense. So I always like to factor in a little extra for those just in case scenarios. Comprehensive for a marketing budget doesn't mean breaking the bank, but it does mean being realistic about what your strategies will require financially. And then there's putting all of your eggs in one basket, or as we say, over-reliance on one channel. In a world with an endless array of platforms, like you've got all your social media platforms. I had a client the other day ask me if he should be using Snapchat. The answer is probably no. It's really easy to stick to one platform because it's like wearing blinders, right? There's too much around me. So I'm going to put on my blinders and only focus on Facebook marketing. Or I'm not going to do email campaigns because they never work, right? But diversifying your approach helps you to cast a wider net and to catch more opportunities. So you might hear a term called omni-channel approach or multi-channel approach. And channels are just the methods in which you get your message to your target audience. So marketing people love to say omni-channel, and that's essentially integrating all components of marketing into how you get your messages out to the world. And then something to keep in mind in marketing is that change is really the only constant, and a failure to adjust your budget as you learn what works and what doesn't is like stubbornly sailing into a storm. Stay nimble, review your performance regularly, and be ready to pivot. Your budget should be a living document, not set in stone. Remember earlier we talked about putting in a little buffer for spend. So that's kind of where that also comes into play. And then lastly, we've got neglecting measurement and analysis. So I can't tell you the number of times that I hear, I don't know my results in marketing or even if it's worth doing these things, and my marketing company doesn't send me reporting, or they send me reporting once every 6 months. That's not enough. It's not enough to review your analytics in general, regardless of budgeting, every 6 months. It's, standard is probably every month. I review our clients' analytics. I look at it every week. I like to see the short term and the long term. And then we have conversations with our clients. So I had a meeting with a client the other day. And we looked at the analytics and they were kind of down. But when I talked to the client, his sales are up, and we could see the direct link from the booking of services to the work we're doing in marketing and the work that he's doing as a business owner to make sure that the marketing that we're doing makes sense for the brand. So hiring an outsourced firm is a great way to efficiently and effectively get a lot of marketing done and a lot of good marketing, but it does still take work from someone on the inside who understands the business in depth and can give you kind of the data, the back end data. If you're not measuring, you're guessing. That's what I say, right? So investing in analytics tools isn't just spending money. It's arming yourself with knowledge and understanding the impact that your actions make on where you're going with your business. All right, so let's talk about some budgeting tips for success. So every great journey begins with a clear destination. Start your marketing budget with goals in sight. Do you want to boost your brand awareness, crank up your leads coming in? Your budget should be a roadmap to these destinations, tailored to navigate you through the complex terrain of your marketplace. The market doesn't stand still, and neither should your marketing budget. So carve out a part of your budget as a flex fund, right? We kind of talked about that for those unexpected opportunities or to pivot from tactics that aren't working. It's kind of like having an emergency kit. You hope you don't need it, but it's there just in case. And then something that's really important is that not all marketing activities are created equal. Some will give you more bang for your buck. So focus on spending on high return activities. So that doesn't mean sticking to what's worked in the past. It means using historical data to basically as a compass, right, for future investments. What are we going to do in the future based on kind of our results in the past? How do we make slight improvements going forward? That's why reviewing your analytics becomes so crucial, especially when it's tied to a budget. Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. And then set regular checkpoints for your marketing journey. Monthly reviews allow you to adjust your sales based on the wins and based on your performance. So I would say these aren't just check-ins. They're opportunities to optimize and ensure every dollar that you're allocating to marketing is working hard for your business. And here's what I really like to do. I like a monthly check-in, and then I like a quarterly review. So I want to know, okay, how did we do in Q1? How did we do in Q2? How did Q2 compare to Q1? And really dig in. I like to look at the short-term results and the long-term results, because what you'll see is that sometimes short-term looks kind of bad, but long-term looks great. And so, marketing is fickle, consumers are fickle. So you just kind of have to find the balance there. And it's important to look at both ranges of data. Yeah. Let's talk about kind of some real world examples of successful budget allocation. So this first example, let's take a local cafe, a cozy spot that's a community favorite. They noticed traditional ads were like shouting into the void. They weren't getting anything. So they shifted gears, reallocating their funds towards social media and community events. This pivot wasn't just throwing money at a new channel. It was about embracing customers where they are spending their time. And the result, they had a 20% uptick in foot traffic, which turned their cafe into the place to be. And let's kind of turn the tides here on an e-commerce brand. E-commerce brands operate in a very crowded online market space. So this company spread their budget thin across SEO, pay-per-click, and email marketing. But here's the kicker. They didn't just set it and forget it. They dove into analytics, understanding which channels drove the most sales and optimized their spending accordingly. So this strategic data-driven approach led to a 30% boost in their sales. And that's a testament to the power of not just spending, but spending smartly. All right, let's dive into some numbers. So this is a survey from Upflip. So on average, American businesses shell out about $14.5K annually on marketing. However, a staggering 66% of small business owners keep their marketing budget under $1,000. This shows a wide disparity in how businesses allocate their funds to their marketing efforts. It's important to know that these averages are skewed by major outliers. So only 14.9 to 18% of businesses are the heavy lifters in marketing spend, highlighting the vast differences in budget allocation among businesses. So when it comes to preferred strategies, 60% of business owners bank on social media, but 24% find it lacking in returns. And on the flip side, content marketing, though underutilized with less than 6% considering it's their top strategy, has a satisfaction rate of 93% among those who invest in it. That points really to a discrepancy to the potential of the underappreciation of content marketing's value. We love content marketing. I am pro content marketing. Social media is great too. It all has its place. But if you're sleeping on content marketing, you better wake up. So diving deeper into marketing services demand a 36.5% higher investment compared to consumer goods. So this distinction is crucial for businesses to understand where their dollars might stretch further. And then, we have to jump into B2C, so business to consumer versus B2B, business to business. So a look at the B2C and the B2B landscape shows that B2C companies spend between 52 to 71% more to achieve the same result as same revenue result as B2B companies, which indicates, that shows us that the cost of consumer engagement is higher compared to business clients. And I do want to touch on the B2B, B2C designation. If you were in my last webinar, you would have heard me say this. You're probably going to hear it on the next one. But in today's day and age, there is a designation between B2C and B2B. But when you look at business to business marketing, you're marketing to a person at the end of the day. You're not marketing to a business, right? A person, a consumer has to make a purchase decision. So it's really important to keep that in mind, that the line between B2C marketing and B2B marketing is more like a wavy transition, right? So we always want to be thinking about that kind of stuff as we're developing our marketing strategies. Let's jump into part 2. We're going to talk about actually planning and building your budget. All right, so it's really important to plan for your budget, right? And so why is this important? Because your marketing budget aligns your marketing efforts with business goals. And what we really want to do is maximize every dollar for growth. And then so our objective for the rest of this presentation is to arm you with the strategies, the tools, and everything you need to craft a budget that moves your business forward, or at least get you on the right path, right? Because the budget, again, is a living document. So let's talk about setting marketing goals. Our last webinar was about setting goals. If you'd like to get a recording or see a copy of or get the presentation, just let Dahlia know, and we'd be happy to send you the link. It's up on our YouTube. But having set the stage with kind of those intro slides in the part one, let's delve deeper into the heart of strategic budget planning. So remember that the essence of a well-constructed budget lies in its ability to mirror your business's ambition while ensuring financial prudence and strategic focus, right? So we want to make sure that we can continue to grow, but also watch our wallets. So why are we emphasizing strategic in budget planning? Because every dollar in your marketing budget should be thought of as an investment. I hear a lot that marketing is an expense and we're just spending, but for what? And what I really try to tell people and remind them is that, again, marketing is an investment. So a strategic approach means that we're not just spending, right? You're investing in growth, in visibility, in customer engagement. You're aligning your financial resources with your most critical business objectives. So in this part of the session, we're going to break down the process of planning a marketing budget that aligns with your business goals. And I'll cover how to assess your current marketing efforts, set realistic goals, and allocate resources in a way that maximizes impact. So whether you're looking to increase brand awareness or drive more traffic to the website or boost your sales or all of the above, your budget is the tool that will help you get there alongside your marketing goals. So on the journey to strategic marketing planning, we have to start with a clear vision. So ask yourself, what are the ultimate objectives of my marketing efforts? It's essential to define these goals early because they'll guide every decision and dollar spent in marketing. So are we aiming to enhance brand recognition, ramp up lead generation, or perhaps evaluate sales figures? So identifying these goals provides direction and purpose to our budgeting process. To ensure our goals aren't just wishful thinking, we tend to employ kind of that SMART criteria. This means that each goal has to be specific enough to focus our efforts, measurable to track, achievable within our resources, and relevant to our overall business objectives, and then time-bound with a clear deadline. So by defining our goals with these criteria, we can transform our aspirations into actionable plans. And again, we really deep dove into this in the last webinar. So if you're looking for more information on that, it's in the last webinar. We'll send it out to you. So to effectively allocate our marketing budget, we have to first understand the landscape that we're navigating in. So this means deep diving into market research and competitive analysis. These activities help us to identify where to focus our efforts and how to differentiate our brand from the competition. So one of our go-to tools for market research is actually Google Analytics, which is free. It's a treasure trove of insights. So for instance, acquisition reports can reveal pathways your customers take to discover your website. So we can see how they got to your website. And then we can go even further into behavior reports, showing us which pages really captivate the audience, where they're spending their most time, and where do they interact the most, right? So this data is crucial for refining our website and content strategies. So if I see that we have a lot of people coming in from maybe it's an email campaign to a landing page, or sorry, an email campaign to maybe a services page for us, maybe like our valuations, right? So what I would do is then say, wow, we've got a lot of people coming in searching for this. We should create a landing page that collects information, right? And we should write more content on valuations and things like that. I also like to put heat mapping on the website so we can see where where people are hovering, what they're clicking on, kind of the user activity. It's kind of like being a little bit of a spy. So another indispensable tool in our arsenal here is SEMrush. So that offers kind of an ability for us to take a comprehensive deep look at our search engine optimization, so our SEO, and any kind of pay-per-click we might be running. And then through keyword analysis, we're able to pinpoint the terms our competitors rank for. This is critical. And I think it's something that people don't spend enough time on, is really looking at what are our competitors doing and what keywords are they using and what are they ranking for? Because they might be ranking for things that they don't even realize they're ranking for, that they're getting traffic, right? And so we can try to maximize on that stuff. And then that informs our content strategies and our ad strategies and our social media and our emails and everything, right? Data is king. So then we can also look at backlink analysis. So if you don't know what backlinks are, it's essentially where your site, maybe a blog post or things like that, is linked to another website. So they might have shared your content or posted you as like one of the top consulting firms for small business or whatever it is, right? So we can do a backlink analysis, one, to look at where we're backlinking, but then also where our competitors' content is going. This is critical for many reasons, but backlinking also tells Google like, hey, this is a legitimate business, right? We should promote this content more. So when you're armed with this kind of knowledge, and I know it's a lot, we're able to be more effective in our marketing, which means that we can distribute our budget in marketing more effectively into areas that actually bring return. So let's talk about allocating your budget. So the cornerstone of budget allocation is your marketing goals. I've probably said goals 17 times throughout this whole presentation, but I promise you it's really important. So each dollar should serve a purpose, whether it's enhancing brand visibility or generating leads. For instance, if your brand awareness is your aim, right, increasing brand awareness, you might funnel more resources into social media or content creation or channels known for broadening your audience. So if I was trying to increase brand awareness for a client and that was their main goal, I would probably look at one, if there's more to it, obviously there's a deep dive, but I would probably look at video content and blog posts and trying to get to show up in top of the Google search for very specific questions relating to their brand. So let your market research lead the way. It basically tells us where your audience is and their content preferences. So this ensures that we're not just spending money, but that we're investing where we're most likely to engage our target market effectively. So getting a sneak peek into your competitors' spending habits, courtesy of a tool like SEMrush, can unveil a lot. It's not about copying. So I don't want you to think like we look at your competitors and then we copy what you do. It's about identifying trends and gaps where we can capitalize on to kind of stand out as a business. And then it's really important to reflect on what's worked in the past. So channels that have historically brought us good returns deserve a bigger slice of the budget pie. However, it's also key to keep thinking about innovation. So set aside some funds to explore new strategies and platforms. And it's, before I was talking about looking at short-term results versus long-term results, it's a marketing tightrope walk between achieving immediate objectives and nurturing long-term brand growth. A well-allocated budget will help you do both. And so that ensures that we're not just reaping short-term wins, but planting seeds for future success. It's kind of like when you build a sales funnel, right? Not everyone is going to close today, tomorrow, next week. And so it's really critical, just like marketing builds the top of your funnel. It's really critical that you have these longer term brand awareness leads, essentially eyeballs coming in so that you can get the short wins of closing sales, but that keeps rolling, right? And I think sometimes marketing can be a little bit short-sighted. You know, we do paid ads and that's it. But really long term, we don't want to keep doing paid ads. We don't want to keep spending if we don't need to, if we can build that organic search, right? So there's a lot of strategies here involved with short-term wins, long-term success. And then the ultimate measure of a budget's effectiveness is the return on investment, so ROI. Continual evaluation of your analytics allows us to be agile and shifting resources from less productive areas to those where we see real growth, ensuring that each dollar is spent in the most effective way that we can. I'm also going to be honest with you that sometimes we spend in marketing and it's near impossible to track, right? Brand awareness is a tough one to really track unless you're willing to dig into layers and layers and layers of analytics, which I love to do, but not everyone wants to nerd out like me, especially when it comes to marketing analytics. So I have a couple case studies in the next 2 slides. I want to talk about those, and hopefully that helps kind of get your brains going. So imagine Reader's Haven, a cozy local bookstore seeing fewer and fewer readers crossing its threshold. The culprit? Probably an outdated marketing approach, heavily invested in traditional media. And the twist here is that their budget remained constant, but its effectiveness was waning. So the pivotal moment came through an audit and a strategic pivot. The insight was clear. Our target audience, especially young adults, they live online. They craved not just books, but connections and community around reading. So this bookshop took a big, bold step, and they shifted gears and funneled funds into developing a vibrant online presence. So picture a website that's not just a catalog, but a portal to the literary world with engaging content that turned casual browsers into loyal community members. Book people are community people, right? So if you have a community around what you do, you want to maximize that. They want to be social. So social media became the digital storefront where the store could interact with the audience and share their passion for books, and more importantly, listen to their customers' needs and wants. Targeted ads helped them reach those who shared their love for literature and drawing them into their now thriving online community. And let's not forget the power of personal touch. The email campaigns became anticipated weekly updates with that were packed with recommendations and insider discounts. Yeah. And then the next one, so 6 months into this journey, the narrative for Reader's Haven dramatically shifted, and the data was undeniable. 40% boost in foot traffic and a 25% leap in sales. This wasn't just a rebound, it was a transformation, and you could feel it. So the venture into social media wasn't just about posting, right? I think that's where people kind of lose the social part of social media, right? It became about engaging, about sharing a story and inviting others into the world of the bookstore. And the result gave them a 300% increase in their digital community. So each new follower represented a potential ambassador for the brand, spreading the word far beyond their local streets. So emails became more than just messages. They were invitations to engage, with an open rate of 20% and a click-through rate of 5%, which sounds, if you are a nerd about email marketing, that sounds really awesome. If you're not, you're like, oh, what's 5%? These numbers didn't just surpass industry averages, they shattered them. So that demonstrated the power of connecting with their audience is critical, right? All right, so when we talk about measuring the success of our marketing efforts, we're essentially asking, are we getting the bang for our buck, right? Let's dive into 3, well, there's actually 6, but there's only 3 on this page. 3 critical metrics that answer this question, right? So this is where we jump into marketing buzzwords. I am sorry in advance. If you want to talk more about marketing buzzwords and you need a better explanation, I have some things I can email you after this webinar that kind of break this stuff down. So we're going to talk about conversion rate, customer acquisition cost, which you will see as CAC usually, and then return on investment, so ROI. So consider conversion rate as the heartbeat of your marketing strategy. It tells us the percentage of visitors who've done exactly what we hoped for. So be it making a purchase or signing up for a newsletter or booking a demo, right? A healthy conversion rate, that's a sign of that your marketing efforts are hitting the mark and resonating with your audience and compelling them to do something, to take action. Oh no, sorry, clicked by accident. Customer acquisition cost, CAC, sheds a light on the efficiency of our marketing spend by dividing our total marketing and sales expenses by the number of new customers. Let me say that again. So CAC divides the total marketing and sales expenses by the number of new customers, and that gives us a clear picture of the cost to acquire a single customer. This metric is invaluable, especially when we're fine-tuning our strategies to ensure we're not just attracting customers, but doing so in a cost-effective manner. I will tell you that calculating CAC takes time, and you really do have to dig into the analytics. If you have a CRM, that helps, but you really have to know kind of what's going on. Depending on how complicated your sales process is or how many services you have, things like that can be complicated, but it is something that can be calculated and it's important. And then lastly, return on investment, so ROI, the ultimate indicator of success. It tells us in clear numbers what we're getting from every dollar we invest in marketing. Calculating ROI, which is net profit divided by marketing investment times 100, helps us understand the profitability of our marketing endeavors and guides us in making informed decisions about where to allocate resources for the most impact. So in sum, these metrics serve as our compass in the vast sea of marketing strategy. They help us navigate towards the most effective tactics, ensuring that every dollar spent is a step closer to achieving those goals. I have another page of metrics. So to fully grasp the impact of our marketing efforts, we delve beyond the traditional measures, which we just talked to, into the realm of lifetime value, LTV, engagement metrics, and lead generation metrics. So if you really want to rabbit hole into marketing analytics and metrics, I'm here for you. I got you. So these indicators give us kind of a deeper understanding of this long-term strategies and long-term benefits and long-term customer interactions. So LTV isn't just a number, it's a forecast of the potential revenue a single customer brings over their entire relationship with your business. And by understanding that, we can segment our customers more effectively, tailoring our efforts to nurture the most profitable relationships. So I want you to think of LTV as the long game, guiding us in balancing immediate acquisition costs with future revenue. And in the digital arena, engagement tells us the story of how your audience interacts with your content. So you probably know this mostly from social media, but likes, shares, comments, page views. They're not just vanity metrics. They are vital signs. So it's not so much that these things likes, page views, comments, shares, tell the only story. It's that they contribute to your story. So they tell you things are working or they're not working. But it makes it, it's not like I got 5 likes, so now I get a new sale, right? This is a long-term tracking. Are we getting better in our engagement? Are we getting more engagement, more quality engagement? What I really like on LinkedIn, for example, is that you can put a link. You can do it on every platform, but on LinkedIn, you can put your link and you can actually track the clicks to that link. So if that's for your booking page or a demo page or to buy a product, you can track stuff like that. And it gives you kind of that short-term win, but it also helps you track over time. High engagement rates signal that our content really resonates it's fostering a community around our brand, right? It's about sparking conversations and building relationships. Marketing is about building relationships that then sales can close, right? And then lead generation metrics. So this is where marketing and sales typically operate in silos. We have to tear those silos down. That's an old school way of thinking. I get that sometimes marketing people don't like salespeople don't like marketing people. We speak kind of different languages, but ultimately at the end of the day, we're all working towards similar goals, right? Company goals. We're all working towards the same set of goals. We're just targeting them and tackling them in a different way. So lead gen metrics shine a light on the effectiveness of our marketing channels. So every lead is a potential customer, in which making it critical to track how many leads each channel generates. So this data can help us refine our strategies, focus our efforts on where they're most likely to attract interested prospects. By integrating some of these more advanced metrics into our evaluation, we can gain a more holistic view of our marketing efforts effectiveness. So LTV forecasts our long-term revenue potential. Engagement metrics offer insights into our content's impact, and lead generation metrics show us where our future customers are coming from. And together, these metrics empower businesses to make informed decisions that drive you towards your goals. I know that was a lot of marketing buzzwords that I promised you I would not use, and I am sorry, but it had to be done. Sometimes it just has to be done. So let's jump into part 3. We only have a couple more slides, and then we'll jump into some questions. So as we transition into discussing the substantial impact of strategic marketing investment, it's important to recognize how these efforts directly influence our bottom line. So strategic marketing isn't just about spreading the word. It's a catalyst for tangible growth and enhanced sales performance. Break down the silos between marketing and sales, please. And I will tell you that your people that you think aren't in sales and marketing probably are, like your customer service representatives. I have a lot of clients in the hospitality industries, and I will tell you that your frontline people, your chauffeurs, your reservationists, your dispatchers, anyone that talks to your customer has the potential to sell them something or to create that feeling of community and brand growth and brand loyalty, right? So it's important that everybody on your team knows how to speak about your brand, knows how to talk about what you do, and isn't comfortable to do that. That's my little tangent. That wasn't on my slide, but I just needed to get that out there. Okay, so let's talk about the impact of marketing on sales and growth. So first up, increasing brand awareness. It's about making your brand a familiar face in a crowded market. This visibility not only puts you on the radar for potential customers, but it also builds a foundation of trust. So the more people that are familiar with your brand, the more likely they are to choose you over a competitor. We, frequently hear things like, I don't think social media works for our business. Well, we need to define what works means, right? People now more than ever, especially through COVID and post-COVID, where we were online all the time, online trust has become really important for brands, for consumers to purchase with brands, and they need to see kind of a lot of levels of trust and a lot of different things in order to say that brand seems more trustworthy than that other brand. So this goes far beyond Google reviews or just a Google review or just some social media content, things like that. Next, we focus on boosting engagement rates. So engagement is the interaction between your brand and your audience. So through strategic marketing, we create compelling content, interactive campaigns, and meaningful conversation that will resonate with our target audience, turning passive observers into active participants, right? So now I had eyeballs, now I'm engaging with your content in some way. And then improving customer acquisition. So a direct result of increased awareness and engagement is improved customer acquisition. So with precise targeting and persuasive messaging, marketing strategies attract and convert prospects into customers more efficiently, which reduces the overall customer acquisition cost, which, you know, we love that. So, and then strategic marketing also plays a crucial role in enhancing the customer experience. This is what I was literally just ranting about 2 seconds ago. But from the first touch point to the post-purchase follow-up, a well-crafted marketing approach ensures consistency and personalization and satisfaction across the entire customer journey, which fosters long-term loyalty and engagement and repeat business. And then finally, strategic marketing investment empowers us with data-driven decision-making capabilities. So by analyzing data from our marketing efforts, we can gain insights into what's working and what's not, and this allows us to optimize our strategies in real time to pursue higher return on investment ROI activities and pivot away from anything that's underperforming in marketing. And then the power, just to conclude, that the power of strategic marketing investment is clear. It's not just an expense, it's an investment in your company's future, in your brand future. And by increasing brand awareness, boosting engagement, improving acquisition, enhancing customer experience, and enabling that data-driven groundwork for sustained sales growth, we can lay the groundwork for business success. The strategic allocation of marketing resources is indeed a game changer in today's competitive landscape, despite the fact that it's kind of old school. A marketing budget is kind of an old school thing, but when you really start to think about how it all works together, it really is, you know, old school still works, you know, in marketing. So just don't forget that there's other things in marketing besides social media. And that's kind of our presentation today. So as I mentioned before, I am an outsourced CMO with my team here at Strategy Leaders. And some of the value of an outsourced CMO instead of hiring an in-house person is that you have access to knowledge and innovative strategies that you might not get in-house. You're a business owner, you're running a business, you have things to worry about, and you don't need to then become a marketing expert too. Outsourcing your marketing is also cost effective versus hiring a full-time team of marketers. It's scalable. You can get a new fresh perspective on your business, what you've been doing. You know, we can look at what you did historically and what you're doing now through our audit process without having the emotional bond to the business, because as a business owner, I get that. We've always done this. This is my brand. I love my company. And that's all great. But when it comes to really diving into analytics and making decisions on not to do something or to do something new, it can be hard when you have emotion tied to it. And then there's less transition time when you hire someone new in any role, right? There's training and things like that. But an outsourced company, their role is to kind of hit the ground running, understand what they need to know, and go forward. So this is just kind of our conclusion side. So effective marketing, you know, involves understanding key components and leveraging the tools that you have and insights to ensure that every dollar that you spend aligns with the business objectives. And then tracking metrics is key. And not just looking at metrics, but also adjusting strategies. So I urge you, if you have an outsourced marketing company right now and they are sending you reporting, tell them you want to see the good, the bad, the ugly. You want to see all the reporting, and then you want to talk with them about, okay, what's not working and how do we make adjustments? I think a lot of times marketing companies are afraid to show the bad sides, but not everything is going to work in marketing, just like not everything is going to work in business. And so it's important to look at all the things. And then outsourcing a marketing firm or a CMO can help provide a business with specialized expertise, fresh perspective, and a more cost-effective way to do your marketing and meet your goals. And that's it for me. I would love to work with you. I love small business. I can't tell you how much I love small business in this very short time period that we have, but it really is the future. The current, the past, the future of this country, of our communities here. And we want to do everything we can here at Strategy Leaders to make sure that small business continues to grow and thrive and that business owners are building long-term, stable businesses that are predictable and profitable. So with that, I know we're right on time, but I'll open it up to questions if you want to stay. Otherwise, have a great day and thank you so much for coming.
Great. Thank you so much, Robyn. So I have a question here. My landscaping business thrives in spring and summer, but slows down in the colder months. How can I budget my marketing throughout the year to maintain steady client engagement and interest, keeping this in mind?
Oh, I love the seasonal business question. That's one we get a lot. So I think from a budgeting standpoint and a sales standpoint, there's kind of a couple ways to hit this. What I would do first is say, okay, when does our slow season really begin, right? We want to start planning for that ahead of time. And I think what happens a lot is when sales are down, the first thought is to cut expenses. And I know in landscaping and some of those other businesses that sometimes you don't have the same level of staffing through the slow seasons, through the winter. But I would say don't cut your marketing budget. That's number one. And from a business standpoint, probably start to conserve cash and try to build up cash so you're safe through the winter. That's not marketing related. That's just I can't help myself related. And then I would honestly look at, you know, what other services can I be offering in the winter that my clients might need? So we have a landscaping client who they install holiday lights and they do a bunch of like prep for, you know, spring cleanups and things like that. So I would say it's just adjusting your marketing strategy, but keeping the same budget. So I might not be pushing lawn mowing or flower bed planting in the dead of winter, but I might be pushing holiday lights or prep for parties or, you know, later in the winter, like, you know, this month, talking about getting the yard cleaned up and, you know, what we could plant for spring, things like that.
Great answer. Totally agree. Another question. So we've noticed a drop in repeat customers. How can we address this? Should we be pulling money out of our marketing budget? Should we be throwing more money into our marketing budget? Yeah. Or should we be addressing other aspects as to why that might be happening?
So there was a slide in here that we talked kind of like marketing follows your customer through the whole journey. So all the way through. And I ranted a little bit about kind of your other staff needing to be kind of customer service and marketing focused. And what is, you know, really critical here is that I apologize, my son is coming up the stairs. It's really critical here that you identify why your customers are leaving. And then, you know, come and deep dive into, are they leaving because they have bad customer service experience? Or because, thank you. Sorry about that. Is it poor customer service experience? Is it that you don't have, maybe they worked through what you already offer and they just don't need you anymore. And so maybe there's an opportunity to say like, okay, what would be next in your journey with us? You know, could we highlight, maybe in marketing, you could highlight some of your testimonials or do some case studies, things like that. So I would say if you're losing customers and they're not coming back, you really want to figure out why they're not coming back. I love a survey, customer survey. Hospitality, people do that all the time, right? You check out from a hotel, how did we do today? Or during your stay, was there anything we could improve upon? Things like that. Yeah, so I think that probably covers it. If you want to do more of like an in-depth deep dive into that, I'm happy to chat more. Just reach out to me.
Awesome. And so for our last question, our competitors spend a lot of money on marketing from the research that we've done, and we're not sure that we can spend the same amount of money. Does that mean that we will not be able to effectively compete with them, or should we be looking at other angles to present our business in comparison to theirs? What would your advice be
Yeah.
in that?
There's always going to be a company that can spend more than you, and there's always going to be a company that has to spend less, right? And just because you have less to spend doesn't necessarily mean that you can't capture a marketplace or that you can't compete. I would say that it really depends. So if you're competing against, probably a good example would be like here at Strategy Leaders, right? If I look at traditional consulting, which we are not really in line with like a Deloitte. However, if I was going to try to apples that, someone like Deloitte has a huge marketing budget, and we are a small business. You know, we have a healthy marketing budget, but certainly not millions of dollars. So it really is about crafting content strategy that resonates with your audience, and then diving into you know, who really is our target client. So in the hospitality world, what we look at, especially for like chauffeur transportation, you might look at, okay, I want to attract corporate travelers, but that's a huge demographic. So maybe what I really want to attract is financial consultants who travel for client meetings, right? So really deep diving into who your customer is and what they look like and their habits, that can be a great and effective way to allocate marketing spend correctly.
Great. Thank you, Robyn. And if there are any further questions, you can feel free to email me or Robyn, and we'll be happy to answer your questions.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. If you need anything, my cell phone number is here because we all work remotely. Shoot me a text or give me a call, or send me an email. I'm happy to chat.
Thanks. Awesome.
All right. Thanks,
Bye.
guys. Have a good day.